This video was sponsored by PowerCircle Clothing and Headbusters Food Company in association with Cook Up Unlimited.
Cook up!
It's not podcast.
Yo, Dennis here, back with another episode of y'all already know what the link reads. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and hit that notification button before we get started. So today, we reporting live in the green room right now. I decided that, we're gonna talk about homegrown talent today. All right, now, we're gonna talk about supporting your local artists. Not just your homegrown, everybody got their hometown favorites. In some cities, it's not quite the same thing. Like, I had the pleasure of going to Memphis, Tennessee, and I had the pleasure of going to a few places in my time, especially like little small towns and rural areas, like Omaha, Nebraska, let's just say. Like over the course of time, like everybody has homegrown talent. Everybody has some sort of local homegrown fan base, underground, whatever you want to call it, but homegrown nonetheless, And sometimes, I remember like back in the days, like let's say like a Puff Daddy or somebody like that, come in town, just like anything else, like, they go to your favorite radio personalities and DJs, and they would often ask, like, who the hottest in the city, and who this, who buzzing, who doing this, who doing that. And yeah, so of course, and then respectfully, you get your endorsements and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about your everyday artists that's making music on a daily basis. That's what I'm talking about today. A lot of times, more or less, you really don't get the type of notoriety, fanfare, the proper presentation, the proper tools that's needed to push the envelope forward, the proper tools to push your brand forward. Sometimes it's lack of promotion, sometimes it's lack of funds, sometimes it's just lack of opportunities in general, because you're working your way up, So oftentimes, you really don't hear about these things. And nowadays the landscape is probably 20 times different, because in the land of social media, the magical world of make-believe, you got some people that can literally become a star in the comforts of their own home, basically by, all it takes is a hot record and whatnot. But that's not the subject either. We're talking about supporting homegrown talent, because that's one of the hardest things to do. Oftentimes, you hear about a person that's on the rise, a person that's on the come up. Often, when they tell their story, they always say they never really had the love of not only the community, but, like the full support of your city. Like, I know it's a lot of people out there that can relate to that, not having the proper support of the city. You want it so bad. That's why a lot of times we build up the concept of, like in some cities, they would say in order to make it, you gotta leave your city. And in some cases, matter of fact, in most cases, sometimes that is probably so. I think we talked about that before. We probably gonna touch bases on that at another time, but right now we just talking about supporting your local talent. So we just gonna, today's episode is about supporting your local talent. That's right, supporting your local talent. Nowadays, you don't really hear about that sometimes, outside of a bunch of spammy promotions that a lot of these rappers is all in your inbox saying, go get my stuff, play this, go check it out, check this out, check that out, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And me, myself, like I get a lot of inboxes, I get a lot of DMs just full of random artists and random music, just for a listen, or might even, share some video links. And I can understand why, to the general public, that could be taken as a little bit offensive or as spam, as you say, because, a lot of artists, they would, what I like to call overpost, by just cramming this single or cramming this video down your throat over and over and over again, when it only just take one post, you know what I'm saying? And if it's what it is, then it'll eventually sell itself. An artist can often talk their way out of a supporter sometimes just by overdoing the most, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they might just talk their way out of a supporter just by overdoing the most. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to kind of encourage. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to bridge the gap between the supporter and the artist, you know what I'm saying? It's just the idea. It's just my opinion. I'm not an expert. Once again, I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion, and I think we all entitled to our opinion, right? You can totally disagree with me, but hey, what do I know, right? So when it comes to support from your own, it's like one of the hardest things in the world. And sometimes you could be asking for the wrong support. Who I'm speaking to the artist. You got to think about it. Like sometimes you might be asking for the wrong support. By default, you probably would want the support of your friends, the support of your family. And yeah, maybe by default, they just, they'll support you just because, they feel like maybe they're obligated to. Whatever their reasons are, they just feel like, you know what, we just going to encourage them. And that's pretty much the right thing, because you always want somebody in your corner that's giving you encouragement, that's always bigging you up, even if it's not genuine. And most of the time it's your friends and your family. But that's not the type of support I personally, and you shouldn't be chasing. When we talk about supporting your local talent, it's about winning over that stranger over there that never heard your music before when you went to that show that one time. Even though they was coming to see their mans and them, you left an impression on them to where, or you may have a strong internet presence to where, you know, you out on whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you know, your presence is, and everybody know you from your music. Everybody know your freestyles or whatever it is that you're doing. A lot of times, even like to this day, like you see a lot of talented singers, a lot of talented rappers, a lot of talented whatever that you come across on like the Instagrams and the TikToks, right? And I was just thinking to myself today, like, man, it's a whole lot of talent out here. Not just in your local city, but it's everywhere in all these different cities, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dang, why ain't I be seeing a lot of like talented people out here that's really, I'm not sure if they getting the proper push or anything like that. But you know, that's not really my concern or my business. What I will say is, how can we get back to supporting our local talent? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's already, you know, we already got the pandemic, and you already know, like, you know, the live showcases ain't really what it used to be anymore. So it's a lot of things that's pretty much different now. So I think artists should come up with creative ways to try to, you know, put themselves out there while doing it the old fashioned way, which is, you know what I'm saying, putting their skills on display, if not only for 59 seconds, you know what I'm saying? I was just giving you a little taste. You gotta pay for the rest. You did. I give it, you know what I'm saying? You give them a little taste, and then, you know, before you know it, that right joint or that right whatever you did goes viral, takes off, boom. You know what I'm saying? At least that's gonna start something. Where did we go wrong when the community stopped supporting local talent? You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it was everywhere else, but when I go to small towns, that they're more ideal than what you see, like what larger cities should be. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to the big cities like New York, as you know, I'm from Chicago, so, and like, let's say like New York, if you ever been in New York, like I remember what the industry was at one point in time, and I'm pretty sure it's probably a hell of a lot different than what I remember it. But what I do know is it was a time where their local talent ended up being household names in cities like Chicago, small cities like Indiana, and throughout the South, and like all these rural areas. People from the crib that you see every day is household names out there in New York. And I was noticing that, like, in so many ways, like Chicago is kind of like that too. But on the flip side, it's like, where did we go wrong at? Now, I'm not talking about the Chicago circuit. I'm not on no Chicago thing, and I'm not, you know, this is not no expose about Chicago or anything like that. I'm just talking about in general. I've been to multiple cities and I've seen certain things, and I'm like, okay, like when you go to the South, or even like, you know, in Atlanta, you know, you hear about all the major artists that, you know, we accustomed to hearing about. And then there's another tier of artists that when you go to whatever city you in, they could ring off a lot of different names of different artists that, like, you know what, y'all should check these people out. And I'm like, you know what, how can we, if not before, build that camaraderie all over again? Because like I'll be watching a lot of documentaries, and I've seen a few, and then when you look at they come up and you look at the journey, it always started with the community, like, you know, just trying to get your chops up. Normally starts there. Like if you're a rapper, usually start rapping on the block first. You know, you want to get the support of your block. Then once you make it out of the block, then you want to take it out to other places within your city. From there, then you want to take it a step further if you was blessed to. And a lot of times you got some artists that don't even take that route anyway. Not saying, you know, you jumping into the industry head first and you want to, you know, put yourself in the category of a certain amount, you know, certain people or whatever. That's totally up to you at your discretion. But I'm just saying we can get the supporter to respond to the local artist just like you would respond to like a major artist, or even like name acts in your own city that we accustomed to seeing all the time. Because, you know, it's always levels to the talent in each city, especially major cities. So, but local talent, I feel like don't get enough love. But then on the flip side, they do. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the underground circuit. It's a lot of artists that's treated like superstars. You know what I'm saying? Especially all my independent artists out there, man. It's probably, I know some independent artists now that's probably living better than your favorite artist right now. Just off the craft and just having that grassroots audience, you know what I'm saying? How can we develop a grassroots audience, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got different ideas of, you know, creating different platforms and things of that such, but as an independent artist and as a local artist, whatever it is that you do, whatever genre, how can you get the community behind you? Now, you know, you have people that has extraordinary talent, and they can put, you know, you can put them in different positions to excel, put them on different platforms to excel. And that's pretty much the pick of the litter, because, you know, it's so many talent. Like, nowadays, everybody rapping. Nowadays, everybody trying to sing, you know. But mainly that rap thing, man. Like, rapping ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about speaking on those, like, local talent that's talented out here day in, day out, getting it in. You know what I'm saying? Not none of that fake it till you make it stuff. Not none of that imaginary player stuff, because, you know, you got a lot of people out here that love to fake it till they make it out here. So, and a lot come with that. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, a lot of that stuff can backfire. But that's a whole nother topic for another episode. But I'm saying all this to say, you know, I'm asking a question and encouraging at the same time to support your local talent. I mean, those, you know, if it's a quality artist out there that you know about, it'd be much appreciated to give them a push or tell somebody about, you know, your local talent. Y'all all know my slogan: keep God first, stay sucker free, and by all means get to the money.